First starting question, what made you want to be a YouTuber?
Um, I think I was pretty similar to most people where I watched like a ton of YouTube and I always had in like the back of my mind that I was going to do YouTube, and then one day I was just like, why don't I just do this? I used to play a ton of Rust, and so I was playing Rust one day and I always would say to my friends, I'd be like, man, if I was recording, I could make such a funny video. And finally I was like, why don't I just stop saying that and do it? So I just started recording all my Rust gameplay
Hmm.
and started posting like funny moments and stuff, and that's kind of how it got started because it was just something I always thought about and wanted to do. So yeah, that's kind of where it all started.
Yeah, I noticed when I looked at your channel, I tried to see like your oldest video, and then you had a comment like, "This is not the oldest video; it's far from it."
Yeah, yeah. There's probably I think overall there's like there's over 100 videos on the channel. Like most of them are not visible. And so yeah, like I actually it's funny, I went back the other day and watched some of those unlisted videos and they're terrible. Like they're not they're not anywhere near as good as what I thought they were at the time. Like the pacing's bad, the audio's bad, like it's just not. I mean, and I think everybody has that like experience of not being in love with whatever they made at first, but I think that's the most important thing for like if anybody's thinking about making a channel, like just do it. You're never gonna like get to the quality where you want to be if you don't start by posting crap. Like you have to post the crap. Don't hide it. And then
Yeah,
if you want to in the future, just make a new channel, and that's fine too.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, you gotta start somewhere, right?
Yeah, yeah. I think people get paralyzed by thinking like I gotta have the perfect mic and I gotta have the perfect like video idea and I gotta have the perfect thumbnail. Like, no, you don't. Just post garbage and make it like 5% better every time, and eventually it'll be awesome. Like, there's a lot of people say like you gotta post like 100 videos to like before you really know what you're doing, but I don't know like I don't know if 100's really the number, but it's more of just hours put in. Like after a certain number of hours, you'll hopefully if you're looking at your videos with like a critical mindset and not just like a oh, this is great. Like if you're getting feedback from people that aren't your family and friends, eventually you will just continue to get better. But you have to get feedback from people that aren't, just saying nice stuff to you because they don't want to hurt your feelings.
Yeah, yeah, definitely for sure. I think everyone should be able to look at their oldest videos and be like, "Man, I've really gotten a lot better."
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, hopefully there are some people though. Like there's the occasional YouTuber that like the first thing they ever posted was like incredible and that's all they've ever done. But more than likely, even those people probably had some other channel where they made like, crappy like gaming videos 12 years ago.
Oh yeah,
Like
like a test
more than
channel,
likely. Yeah, absolutely.
definitely. So, kind of on that, what made you stop like doing gaming content?
Um, when I realized that it was kind of like a gradual thing, I realized that I wasn't watching a lot of gaming content, and so it's like there's kind of a disconnect where I was like, I don't really watch a lot of this anymore, so it's hard to make stuff when you don't also consume it. And then I made I made a video about Belle Delphine's bathwater that popped off,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and the video is so cringe, but um, that got a lot of views, and I was like, well, wait a minute, why don't I just make videos about stuff like that because people enjoyed that, and yeah, so I just kind of started going down a different like path of like doing more commentary type stuff, and yeah, just kind of went from there. I just kind of went with the flow basically, and started doing stuff that I was having more fun with, and that's kind of what I'm trying to do. Like I think I'm always trying to figure out what I need to do to make it so that the videos I'm working on are fun and like stuff that I enjoy and not just stuff I think that will get views or whatever. So it's always a balancing act, and I kind of pivoted because I was like, oh, this is more fun and people like it. That's cool.
Yeah, that's good that you could balance that because otherwise you'd be hating your life if you had to only do what other people liked and you hated it.
Yeah, for sure.
Hmm. So I could imagine that you really like the documentary kind of content you do then, right?
Yeah, yeah. I watch a ton of it, and I have for a while. And there's definitely people that like I take a lot of inspiration from. And I think when I first started making documentary type videos, I can't even remember how many similar YouTubers I was watching. Like I was watching like Jay Aubrey is one. I don't know if you know him. His documentary style videos are really good.
Mm,
Um and there's a bunch of people in the niche that I wasn't super aware of right when I first started off. Like obviously in the past there was a lot of uh like parallels between me and like Sunny V2, and it was actually kind of funny because we for a little while kind of were making similar videos, and like I was like, man, we're like too similar. I need to pivot. Like I don't want to be doing the exact same thing as this guy. Um so yeah, I've always taken a lot of influence from documentary type channels, but I'm always trying to think of ways that I can like either cover things that haven't been covered or cover them in a different way. Because yeah, I want to be doing my own thing. I don't want to be like releasing videos that other people have already released. So that's kind of a constant like struggle, I guess. But it keeps it fun. Like it makes it a lot of fun.
oh yeah. Yeah, I've definitely seen some original videos that I don't really see in other areas. Like I watched a lot of Rise and Fall videos, but with Rise and Falls it goes over really like the YouTubers that have actually like been bad or ruined their career.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see like a video just talking about Mr. Beast or PewDiePie in the Uncancelable series.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, those were fun to make. I liked I got to give a big shout out to a guy called Kyoto Commentaries on YouTube. I was watching like random JSchlatt content one night, and I came across a video he made about Schlatt, and I forget exactly what it was called, but it gave me the idea. I was like, oh, I could make a video about how people didn't get canceled. Like that would be cool. And so I linked he had like this huge Google Doc of all the people that tried to cancel Schlatt and like what had happened. Like that guy's a legend.
Oh
And
man.
so I linked that Google Doc in the description of that video. Um, and he's still active like on YouTube and Twitter. Like everybody go check him out. But but yeah, that was my like aha moment. I was like, wait a minute, that could be like a thing. Like that could be in a whole thing. Um, so yeah, and then I made a bunch of them, and then I kind of like, and they popped off, like they were pretty popular.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of slowly like didn't like the idea as much anymore because there was a few reasons, but for one, I kind of started wondering. I'm like, okay, well, what if I post one of these and then like 2 years from now, like somebody gets mega canceled that I made one of these on,
Yeah.
and then and then they all started to feel kind of samey to me. Like it was all I was like, I'm just saying the same thing. Like, oh, something bad happened and this person ignored it. Like I got bored with the whole idea, so that's why I stopped making them. I know people love them, and I've been thinking about bringing it back in a different way. I want to actually like interview the people involved and stuff like that, and not just talk about it. So that may happen in the future. We'll see.
That would be pretty fun. I'm pretty sure you've been aware of there's one of your videos that they've been kind of memeing on.
Yeah, I
So
know what you're talking about.
you know
Yes, I
exactly.
get the comment. I get the comments. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of find that really funny because I remember watching that one. Just so that we're on the same page, we both talked about the uncancelable two mad one, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah, I found that kind of funny. I'm like, yo, that's a Jabroni video, and I'm like,
Yeah. You know what's funny too is, yeah, the two med thing. That whole story's kind of sad.
mm-hmm.
And of all the people that I made a video on, an uncancelable video on, he's probably like one of the last people that I would have expected to actually get canceled. Like I would have thought it would. I don't know. I would have thought it would be somebody else, but um, yeah. And who knows? Maybe maybe he'll pull through it. Maybe he'll go back to posting on main. Maybe he'll like beat the allegations. Who knows? Like that could all still happen. So, but yeah, it was funny. One of my mods, I have a couple people that mod my YouTube channel, so they have access to all the comments. And one of those guys messaged me last week and was like, "Dude, are you seeing all these comments on the Two Mad video?" And I was like, "Yeah." Like, he's like, "What are we gonna do?" I was like, "Nothing. Like, I don't care."
Oh
Um,
man.
But I ended up making I made a video on the second channel and then I just linked it in the pinned comment on that video. So I was like, hey guys, like, yes, something happened. Here's my video about it. Just go watch that. So, I mean, you're never gonna win on YouTube if you really let the comments get to you. Like, you're just in for a really bad time, just in general. So, I do read comments. Like, a lot of people don't even do that. I do read comments, and I
Mhm.
really appreciate when people say nice things. And a lot of times, even the mean things are helpful. Like, even if they're saying something really mean in a mean spirited way, it's like sometimes they're right. Sometimes if they're saying like, "Oh, your editing on this part was shitty," like I'll look and I'm like, "Oh, it actually was." So, I do think it's like helpful to read the comments, but you have to not let it get to you because that can drive you insane.
And I mean, in your defense, you weren't expecting any of this to happen to Two Mad or anything. Like,
No, not at all.
it's
No,
it's not
not
like
at
you
all.
got wrong information. It's just things changed in the future.
Yeah, it was correct for the time that it was posted, but that is another thing that's really funny. Like I'll post something and then like a month later, the like something else will happen in the story, and then someone will comment like, "You left that out." Like, dude,
It
look at the
wasn't
date
there.
on the video.
Yeah, honestly, you made an uncancelable on like David Dobrik for crying out loud. I would have honestly thought that that would have been the guy to get canceled first.
Well, he kind of like I think to an extent he kind of like got canceled. Like his channel I think is permanently demonetized
Oh, it
on
is?
YouTube. So like to an extent, but then like it's like it doesn't matter to him. Like he's still making content and like making all this money elsewhere. So like I don't think anything I don't know what he could even do that's worse than than what's already happened. So
Yeah.
yeah, he's still yeah, unless like he just like killed someone, like just took out a gun on camera, just shot someone in the face. Like I don't know.
I mean, he almost did, but like,
Yeah, he almost killed Jeff on camera, Jeff Wittick,
yep.
and that was a big part of that video. And the fact that there's that whole crew is still making content just tells me like, yeah, he's definitely uncancelable. Like I don't say he got away with all that stuff because he paid for a lot of like Jeff's medical bills and stuff, and of course it was an accident. Of course he felt terrible about it, but like the dirty Dom stuff is pretty incriminating too, and like um yeah
Yeah, they got a lot of messy stuff under this, like behind the scenes right now.
yeah, and Dom's still acting crazy. Like he posted last year on Instagram. I saw a video of him like jumping a Tesla over a hill in LA, like in a residential neighborhood, like at like 80 miles an hour, and then they crashed the Tesla. Like,
Gosh
dude
darn
is,
it.
yeah, dude is very dirty. Dumb is a dangerous guy.
So wait, when you like make these videos, do you ever just like, I mean, I you kind of did for that one, but every character that like you've made a video for, every person I mean that you made like an uncancelable video, do you just like sometimes randomly check in just to see how they're doing, or does it
Yeah,
come to you?
I try to keep up with them. Like, and usually it's people like one the ones of those videos that I consider to be good. Um, are people that I'm like big fans of. Like, I love watching like Schlatt and
Mm,
like Pyrocynical and like a lot of those people I'm just like naturally fans of, so I just watch their stuff. Like if anything happened, I would probably know about it. Like people that I wouldn't would probably be like a David Dobrik. Like I would that would have to trend on Twitter for me to hear anything about it.
yeah, that's fair.
Um, but yeah, for the most part, I keep up with them just naturally because I like their stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So I guess a different question I have for you then is, do you edit your own videos?
Yes, yeah. Right now, I'm in the process of hiring one, maybe two people to help me with that. But yeah, for the most part, everything I've done in YouTube has been just a one man show from editing to thumbnails. I've paid for a thumbnail one time ever. Everything else on there is me in Photoshop. I take credit for the good ones, the bad ones.
Mm,
And yeah, I edit all my own stuff, but I'm in the process of expanding. So that's not going to be the case for very much longer.
all right, yeah, that's actually pretty cool. I actually kind of expected you to have an editor at this point, but yeah, that's
I
fair.
really should. I should have gotten one a long time ago that would have helped me post more. But um, yeah, I don't know. I'm very like if I'm gonna post something, I want it perfect. Like, and I've just always felt like, oh, it'll just be easier for me to do it by myself if I'm the one doing it. then it'll be exactly how I want it. But I'm realizing that that's not scalable, and that's something that I've been learning a lot recently. Like I went to VidCon in LA. When was that? Last month.
Yeah, I believe
And
so.
I think every YouTuber I talked to, every single one had like a team, like some kind of team, like two, three, four, 5 people. And I was like, oh, like I'm way out of the loop on this. So that's kind of opened my eyes to being like, yeah, I gotta hire some people, like probably more than one.
Yeah, that would definitely help you.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
I think even Turkey Tom has a team, like people that research the scripts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wait, if you edit your own videos, how long does it like take to make a video on average then?
It depends on how long it is. But like, my average video is 20 minutes. So I might spend a day or two researching, writing, and then it could take mm, maybe 20 to 30 hours of editing for like a 20 to 30-minute video. Sometimes more, sometimes like 40 hours of editing. It depends on how hard I go on the editing. The last video I posted as of today is the last fish tank video, the hour long mega video about the second half of fish tank, and that took a long time. Like basically from the moment I posted the part one, I was working until like the moment I posted that part two. It was like 3 weeks,
Oh, jeez.
and I didn't. Yeah, I like that whole 3 weeks. I like didn't watch TV. I didn't play video games. Like I just worked on that thing, and I was so tired when I when I finally posted it. Um, but yeah, that's not typical. Typically, my videos don't take that long. Like we're talking 20, 30 hours, maybe tops. And so my hope is once I hire editors, I can, work on a video, get all the writing and script done, and then like record it and get the like take the bad vocal takes out and just string together like a like a voiceover that's has the correct pacing, and then send it off and be like, okay, can you guys put B-reel footage over this and like add some music and put the bells and whistles, and then I can, while they're doing that, I can start working on the next one. I'll be able to like double my output, I think.
Oh yeah, is it difficult to run two channels then? Because you have Jabrangus, right?
Yeah, that's something I've actually considered, just like since I am so strapped for time, I've considered just like merging them and being like, okay, well, if I'm gonna make a second channel video on this, why don't I just post it on the main channel? But I kind of like, as of right now, I kind of prefer having the two, even if I'm unable to post frequently on the second one or even the first one sometimes. Because the second one I think of is more like that's like the opinion column of like my newspaper. So if I want to say something that's like very opinionated that I think might, I don't know, just like more of a commentary feel. I feel like it's safer for YouTubers to do that today on a second channel, just because, if somebody says, "Oh, you're harassing me," like you can get nuked out of orbit. Even though I would
Hmm.
never say anything intentionally harassing anyone, like I just feel like it's safer if you're going to do really opinionated content to put it in its own quarantine bubble. And then, the main channel, like, I try to be, obviously I'm biased when, anybody that tells any story has some kind of bias, but like
Yeah.
I try to keep the main channel like a little more objective and, you know, documentarian feel. So yeah. And I think it'll be easier. I'm going to have more time in the future to work on YouTube stuff. So right now I juggle, like I have a job and then I also have the two YouTube channels. So eventually that will go away and I'll just do YouTube. So that'll be hopefully pretty soon here. So that'll help a lot too. Like I think, and I've talked to some friends who do YouTube as well. And especially if you're like just starting out or you have like maybe a smaller following, um, I would not recommend doing two channels because it definitely splits your time, and there's really no point unless you hit a critical mass of, either you're going to alienate viewers by posting this, or you want to post stuff that's more commentary focused and opinion based that doesn't fit with your other stuff. But like I've known a lot of like when I was first starting out on YouTube, a lot of my friends that were also starting out were like, "Oh, I'm gonna make a new channel. I'm gonna change directions." And it's like if you don't have a huge following, there's really no point. Just rebrand your existing channel and just go the direction you want to go because if you don't have a ton of subscribers or a big following, like you're not going to make a bunch of people mad. The worst that could happen is some of the inactive subscribers like happen to see your new video and be like, "Oh, cool." So I don't recommend making a second channel unless you just have tons of stuff you want to say, tons of content you want to put out into the world. Um, and yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. So let's see then. Have you ever received backlash for your content before then?
Um, I was thinking about that a few weeks ago. I don't think I've ever like oh, you know what? Yeah, I have. The I Show Speed video earlier this year on the second channel called YouTube's Biggest Copyright Troll just outed himself. Um, I Show Speed has a very active fan base, let's say. I guess it's like a nice way to say it. And they did come after me. They did come after me on Twitter. They raided my Discord. Like all of his mods joined my Discord in an attempt to do I don't know what, but I banned them all like immediately, or me and my mods did, and so that was weird. And they definitely say some crazy stuff on Twitter to me too, and you can tell when it's like an Aisha Speed fan talking crap. Like, they have a certain like set of insults that they like to use. I'm like, oh, okay, you're like 12.
Bro,
so
classic
so it's
speed fans.
yeah, like it's like extremely obvious. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Like I don't let it get to me. So, but yeah, I was definitely a little freaked out, and I actually had at least one big YouTuber reach out to me after that and be like, "Hey, man, I'm glad you said something because like I didn't because I know he has like a rabid fan base." And I was like, "Well, why didn't you say anything?" It's like whatever, it's fine. Um, but yeah, I mean, like backlash doesn't really do anything unless you let it, I guess. I mean, unless your channel gets like demonetized or like nuked or anything, but I didn't do anything that would warrant that. So yeah, it's cool. I don't let it bother me.
I mean, even in that sense, he quite literally admitted to being the one to like ask Thumb Media to do that. So like
Yeah,
you weren't wrong. Like
yeah, yeah. No, I know factually, but yeah, I mean, people still get really nasty when you make something that puts their favorite creator in a negative light. And he's still, I mean, he's the biggest streamer on YouTube. He pulls insane views,
mm-hmm.
and I watched a lot of his stuff. Like I was actually a big fan before the whole crypto scam. Like his streams were funny. It's definitely not the main thing I would watch, but like I would tune in every once in a while after I made that uncancelable video because he's just funny. Like he just starts barking at the screen like that. Like, I actually find that funny. I know a lot of people are like, "No, it's stupid," but I have a really dumb sense of humor. So, but then yeah, when the whole crypto scam thing happened, I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah,
Um,
that wasn't the best. But I do know that Speed does definitely play a character for the camera. So
for
like
sure.
it's not like that's him, but like
Yeah,
there you could definitely see a difference what is him and what's not.
yeah, yeah, for sure,
It's kind of
for
like
sure.
Schlatt in a sense because Schlatt, I think, doesn't he like fake his New York accent? Like I don't remember. Like
I don't want to throw him under the bus.
he's a funny man
Uh,
though.
yeah, but yeah, he's definitely a character, for sure. Like he's not like a big. I'm sure in real life, I haven't met him, but I'm sure in real life he's not a big like Catholic pope head that carries a gun everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, this question was kind of answered, but not really. Have you ever been fact checked or attempted to be fact checked before?
Yeah, yeah, all the time. You mean like in comments or like in a debate or like in a certain setting or just in general?
I guess either in comments or if someone's ever made a video basically being like, "Oh, this guy got everything wrong" or something like that.
I don't remember anyone ever making a video like that. I don't I don't think so. Um people react to my videos like I think I'm trying to remember. There was a few months where Mizkif watched almost every video I put out on stream, and I'm trying to remember exactly what he said. He added a lot of information that I don't even think was public when he watched one of my videos. He was like, "Yeah, this is what was going on behind the scenes, blah blah blah."
Hmm.
Um, and then I think he did say I got something wrong in the. I made a video called Streamer House Horror Stories about like different streamer houses and like crazy stuff that's happened to them. And I think he said that I missed something, and he was like, "Yeah, this video is fucking stupid," and he like closed it like on stream. That
Oh,
was I was so my friend DM'd me. It's super. I don't know. I get really embarrassed. I know this is kind of like weird, but I don't like hearing my own voice, which I know sounds like what you post it all the time, but it's just weird for me to hear my own voice, and then to see my own like face on somebody's stream with like 30,000 viewers or whatever is like I get super embarrassed. I don't know why. I can't even watch it. So like I have a friend who will DM me. I have like one or two people who will DM me and be like, "Hey, this person's reacting to you." And then they'll just like give me live updates. So like I'll have somebody like live tweets me, "Okay, he said this." Because
yeah,
it's just so I get it's so cringe for me to watch myself being reacted to. Although I think I'm like next time it happens, I'll probably watch. I'm pretty much over it. But when I first, when streamers first started watching my stuff, I was like really shy, I guess, which doesn't make any sense because it's like a million people already saw some of those videos. So I don't know. But yeah, as far as fact checking, there was that, and then yeah, in comments all the time, people are like, "Hey, you got this wrong." Um, but and I that is one thing that I take really seriously is like factual correctness.
yeah.
Like if I say something, it has to be true, or like I have to have evidence that points to it being true. I don't want to say stuff just to say stuff. Like I never want to be the person spreading misinformation. So pretty much anytime anyone calls me out in a comment and says, "Hey, this was wrong. You got this wrong at whatever," I do read that usually if I see it, and I'll try and check if I was right or wrong or whatever. I think it's only happened like one time where someone said I did like had something factually wrong and they were right and I was wrong in the video, and I pinned a comment uh, saying, "Hey, I made a mistake at this timestamp." And here's what I don't remember. It was a long time ago. I don't remember what video it was, but yeah, I do. I'm open to being fact checked. Like just because I post something doesn't mean it's a fact. And it's kind of scary because that sounds like so obvious to say, but like there's a lot of people if they watch a YouTube video, like that's like the law to them. They're like, okay, yeah, that's what happened. Like there's people that just like don't think critically, so I try to make everything as accurate as possible, and not. I think most people think critically, but there is like a minority of people who watch YouTube videos who just like if you say something, it's the truth to them.
Oh
That's
yeah,
kind of scary.
yeah. You gotta take it with a grain of salt whenever you watch something for sure.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, factual accuracy is definitely a good thing to aim for, and that's really good that you're able to own up if you actually are incorrect. That's really good journalism. I'll give you that.
Thanks.
And I'm glad that it doesn't happen to you much. I think
Yeah.
it happens to a lot of people. Like, pretty sure Sunny V2 and Internet Anarchist also had inaccuracies that they had given the resources at the time. So
Gotcha.
it happens to like everyone. So you shouldn't feel bad if it happens to you, but definitely try not to like have it happen more than you know a good amount.
Yeah, I don't see like to me personally, I don't see the point posting something if I'm not super confident in it. Like if I would not want to post something that I'm just like kind of familiar with or like kind of like I want to be an expert, especially if it's going on the main channel. Like the second channel is just kind of like pop off reactions to stuff, so that one is not as much like it's more opinion than facts and stuff. But yeah, definitely on the main channel, I'm doing tons of research for everything I post about pretty much.
Got a couple more questions here.
Yeah.
These these are just kind of random ones, but just kind of ones I was kind of curious of. So, what was your favorite video to make, and then the least favorite?
Favorite video to make. Let me look. So right now it would have to be like a toss up between the phase video I made 3 months ago was really fun to make. Because I was experimenting with kind of a new style. I
Hmm.
haven't really gone back to it, but it was like it was almost it was like almost not animated, but like I made little characters in Photoshop and like made them move around a little bit, kind of like Internet Historians, like early videos.
Hmm.
And instead of just saying like this is what happened, like I actually like voice acted out conversations between different people. So it was almost like telling a story instead of just showing people, factual stuff. It was like kind of more entertaining,
Yeah.
and I really enjoyed making that. So I want to try and do more of those where it's like a little more immersive, and like I had fun with it. I put a ton of jokes into it, and like I tried to make it funny. So I had a lot of fun with that one, and then it's kind of a toss up between that one and then also like the fish tank stuff that I released, like the 2-part hour and 40 minutes of content. Like I worked a lot on it, but I really enjoyed it, and I had a lot of fun making them just because I was telling somebody else this the other day. Like so for that game show, they had all this archive footage. So like all the cameras in the house were motion activated, and they would start recording anytime there's motion in the room. And all of those recordings are available. Like if you pay for their season pass or whatever, you can go look through all the archive footage. So there's literally tens of thousands of video clips that you can get access to. So when I was working on my videos, I was going through those, and I didn't really understand how the timestamps worked at first, like the time zones and how it was converted and all that stuff. So I would look through tweets I had saved where somebody said, "Oh, something happened." I would look at the timestamp on that tweet, and then I would go to the archive footage and try to find the correct camera, the correct room at that time. And I kept clicking on the wrong times because like I didn't know how they converted the time zones. And even though I was looking at the wrong clip, I would still find something really funny. And like some of those made it in because there was just so much funny stuff happening at all times on that show. So I had a lot of fun making that, even though it was like really hard work and took me a lot of hours. That's probably one of the more rewarding things I did. And like that's the first video. The second part is the first video I've ever posted that's like over an hour. That's by far. So the first part was a 38-minute video, and that was
Yeah.
the longest video I had posted up to then. And then the second part was an hour and 2 minutes, and that's the longest video I've ever posted now. So I really enjoyed it. I'm probably going to go towards making more long stuff because I just feel like it's better for storytelling. And I kind of want to go in more of a storytelling direction rather than quick recaps. I just really enjoy watching stuff now that's more story oriented. So I feel like what I make kind of follows what I enjoy to watch. And so like I've been watching a lot of like Wendigoon and stuff like that. Like he's definitely influenced me to be like, oh yeah, I could tell a long story. Like I could make an hour long video. Whereas before, one, I wasn't watching stuff like that, and two, I would have never even considered making something like that. So yeah, either the phase video or the most recent one are probably the most fun. And I think the reason they are is because I've always tried to gravitate towards stuff that's fun for me to make. So like when I was making the older stuff, I was having fun making it, but as I've learned what I like and it's evolved, like it just gets more and more fun. So that's a cool part of it.
Yeah, definitely. So I could see that those would be your favorite ones. So what would be your least favorite?
My least favorite ones to make like while I was working on them.
Yeah.
So I was talking about this the other day with guy that I was working with, and he asked why I want to like change my direction. And some of the unfun stuff to work on is like when the story's just like really dark or really like negative, like genuinely bad things happened. So like probably the one I had the least fun working on was like I made a video a long like 3 years ago about Lovely Peaches, and she's like the crazy person who like said that she murdered her daughter.
Oh boy.
And yeah, so I went through like all this evidence and like all these videos, and yeah, it was just really not fun because she's like a super like not well person. Um, so yeah, and that's kind of when and I made some videos about like really dark stuff like that since then, but I think I'm realizing that just making videos about really dark stuff is just not as fun. Like I'm probably gonna move more and more away from that.
All right. How long do you plan to stay on this platform?
until they ban me.
Nice.
Yeah, like I really enjoy YouTube. Like even when it's hard, I like it. Like I think I enjoy it because it's hard. Like if it was easy and I could just post anything and get a million views, I would get so bored I would probably stop posting. Like I would not like that.
Mm.
But the fact that it is a challenge and I really have to rack my brain thinking of ideas and titles and editing and thumbnails and like I like it's a super complex problem to me. Like it's like a um it's really fulfilling when you put all the pieces together and it's like, oh, that was good. Okay, cool. Like I don't know if you've seen that gif of like the that one superhero guy and he's like, oh, they're clapping for me. I can't remember the guy's name. He's from The Boys, but he's
Oh
like the
yeah.
villain.
Homelander.
That's kind of how I feel when a video pops off. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. People like that. All right, like
Yeah.
so. Yeah, I don't see me stopping. Like, cause I've gone through periods where I don't feel like working on videos. I don't feel like posting, and I've gone through them and come out the other side. And I just can't imagine. I can't imagine waking up one day and being like, yeah, I'm not going to post on YouTube anymore. Like even just saying that, I don't like the way it feels coming out of my mouth. I
So
just love it. I really do.
that makes me wonder, are you just gonna like one day you're like 75 and it's like, oh man, I can't wait to do like
Maybe I don't know. I mean, it'll probably. I don't know. I have no idea
I
about the
mean,
future.
if you want to still go for the grind, go for it, man, but
Yeah,
I don't see
yeah.
too many people do that.
I could see. Yeah, I mean, like I think the way that like PewDiePie did it was cool. Like like he made a goal of like move to Japan. They finally were able to do it. Like they're having a kid, so he's kind of just like slowing down and only posting when he wants to.
Yeah.
Like I think that's one way to do it. If you're, if it's just you. I mean, obviously he has a team. He's always had a team,
Mm-hmm.
but he doesn't have like a massive company to hand off or anything. I think that's one way to do it. And then I guess the other way to do it is the opposite would be like Mr. Beast, who obviously has not quit, but if he were to quit, he's got a massive company. Like he's got like 3 studios and like 100 employees. And so that's another route where you could like, people could keep posting on your channel, but it's like they just work for you. I don't know if I would ever do that. I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm that guy,
Mr.
but
Beast kind of has it a little wild because there's like I've seen like a couple podcasts. He says like for himself he's going to do at least 10 more years of content on himself,
mm,
but then also he's been training someone to be like the next Mr. Beast on his channel.
that's cool.
And I'm like, how do you train someone to do that? But like I'm kind of curious to see. But the man's so wild that he said like if he dies like during the channel still up, he said in a podcast, I hope he's joking, but he said I'm gonna have all my friends put their hands on my tombstone. The last one to leave gets my channel. And I'm like, dude,
That's that's so perfect. That's so Mr. Beast. I love it. I
it
love it.
is.
I yeah, yeah, that's definitely not me. Yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean like when I'm 75, I don't know, I probably won't be. Maybe I'll go live. I might still do that. Be like, "Hey guys, it's me from the nursing home. We're playing bingo today."
yo,
That might be fun. I don't know.
yeah. At least like you're definitely not leaving soon though. That
No, I
is
have
for sure.
no Nah, no, I have no intentions of leaving. It's just too much fun. It's just too much fun.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Happy to hear it, man. Hmm.
Absolutely.
I guess yeah, that so we did go through all the questions. Is there anything
Cool.
else you'd like to say, or?
I don't think so. I think if anybody's listening to this, like if you're thinking about, like I said earlier, if you're thinking about doing YouTube, like just do it. Just come up with a rough idea, you know, write it down, and then just make it, post it, get feedback from people that aren't your family and friends, and then go from there. Just make it a little bit better every time, and eventually you can make whatever you want. You just got to stick with it. It's just hard work. I think a lot of people underestimate the amount of work that big YouTubers put in. Not me. I wouldn't consider myself a big YouTuber, but like I don't think people realize like behind the scenes there's so much that goes into it. Once you get into it, that's kind of like the test of like are you going to keep doing it or not? Um, So yeah, just go for it. Just try it.
Yeah, very well said.
Thanks.
Well, it was great to have you here. I've had
Thanks.
I had fun. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, absolutely. Likewise. Looking forward to listening to it again later.
Yeah, you're gonna be able to enjoy hearing your voice.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. All right, man. You take care. Stay safe, okay?
Thanks, you too.